With my man JT at pocketwatcher.net. Now, let's go pocket watching.
Pocket Watchers, welcome to Pocket Watching with JT. I am certified financial planner Jason Thornton. That means I am an actual licensed financial advisor. I don't just play one on the internet. Now listen, before we get started, I have to give a huge shout out to all of the over 104,000 Pocket Watchers. This is an achievement, right? I want to be clear. This is an achievement, not just for me. This is an achievement for all the people, because there's no flash, there's no swag with this, right? I am a cornball financial experts online. I'm extremely petty about the fact that these people promise that they can help you in your financial life, even though they have no experience, no education, no any credentials or licenses to do the things that they claim that they can do for you. And I poke fun at them. At the same time, though, I attempt to educate you guys about how finance really works. I'm not promising to make you a millionaire, but I can teach you how to stop living paycheck to paycheck. I can teach you how to build up an emergency savings fund, and I can teach you how to get out of debt. And to have over 100,000 subs in less than 3 years, I've been doing this for about 2 years, really. I just gotta say thank you. Now, I'm not gonna start naming out all the people who helped make this happen, because honestly, if I start naming names, I'm gonna miss a name. But when the plaque comes in the mail, and I'm told it takes about 2 weeks maybe when the plaque comes in the mail, when that silver play button gets here, I'm gonna do one dedicated live stream to the over 100,000 Pocket Watchers. I'm going to name names and say thank you to everyone who helped me get to this point. But for right now, thank you to the over 104,000 of you, the moderators, the people who are members of my YouTube channel, and every single person who subscribed. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now that I said that, hit the like button, share, subscribe if you haven't already. But let's get to it. What are we talking about tonight? What are we talking about tonight? Well, tonight we have Miss Janae White. We're asking the question, is Janae White a fake guru? Right? That's what we want to know. We want to know. Because there were a lot of promises made. And there's people who say that promises were not kept. But tonight we're going to ask some questions and we're going to figure it out. And of course, we will be taking on calls. But as an added bonus, many of you are aware, if you've been rocking with me for a while, you are aware that me and Mr. Orlando Minor, we have done several collabs together. Orlando was back. And what better night for Orlando to come back than the very first live stream when we hit over 100,000 Pocket Watchers. So I'll be bringing up Orlando in a minute. But let me go through these notes real quick, because I want to give another shout out to Tony the Closer and this young lady right here, Sherelle Hodge. I have been following them online. They're the first people that I seen cover this story. Tony is the one that sent me this story, so big shout out to him and to Ms. Hodge. She's really been covering a lot of stories. I really like the way that she's covered this one. If you haven't already, go subscribe to them. Go check them out. Follow them. Now, many of you may be unaware of who this lady is. You may not know what's going on. So I'm going to show you a quick clip to bring you up to speed, and we'll be right back.
It is good to see you. Janae is the CEO of J. White Credit University.
To go around and educate the community on financial literacy, credit education, how to get loans from banks, and basically how to leverage credit to create generational wealth.
And why did you come up with this idea, this concept for a business?
Because I had bad credit at 18 years old that I went through at a young age.
Now to our News for Jax I-Team investigation into a well-known Jacksonville entrepreneur accused of fraud, prompting her investors to file lawsuits with claims of bad business practices by her investors.
Janae White is the CEO of 8 different companies in Jacksonville, including the J. White Business Center, which offers credit repair services and credit education courses to customers. She's also CEO of J. White Enterprises, Luigi's Concrete and More, J. White Marketing Incorporated, J. White Construction Incorporated, J. White Properties and More, J. White Institute, and Free Game by J. White. The Attorney General, the office has confirmed, has received multiple fraud complaints against some of her businesses.
Consumer investigator Tiffany Salome talked with 3 different people who invested a combined $100,000.
It started off in a business relationship, and then I did the mentorship program. And like I said, she has a very infectious personality.
Raven Griffin met Janae White in 2021 after enrolling in her business credit program.
So we went to each other's birthday parties. She met my family. Like, it was a very commingled relationship. So it was really crazy how everything played out.
So you trusted her?
Yes.
Griffin says Janae White broke her trust shortly after she gave her $10,000 as a silent investor.
So over 3 programs with her, I spent over $22,000. And the mentorship program itself, over $10,000. And then on top of the legal fees, that spent over $7,000 and counting.
The contract promises investors to locate and purchase a property, renovate and sell it. Raven, as the investor, would get 70% of the profits at the time of sale. But there's one small problem. Griffin says she never got an investment property, and those she did see.
And a lot of the properties that we end up seeing were not first-time flipper friendly. They were completely dilapidated, from termite infestations to having issues with galvanized piping, roofing situations, like permit pulling type of things.
9 months later,
I realized all of the things that we agreed to in our initial contract were not going to be able to be done.
And that's when you got a lawyer?
Yes.
This is an intentional fraud to this scheme, or this is an overcommitting or, overzealous representation of capacity.
Chris Dempsey is Raven's attorney. He says dozens of others have lost their money as well.
It's a mess. I've never seen anything like it.
Dempsey says there's a potential for a class action lawsuit with 2 possible schemes at work: a real estate mentorship program and an Airbnb investment program. We talked with Buddy Wilson and Andre Romano, who both invested money into what was advertised as a short-term investment opportunity. Contracts show they paid a one-time administrative and setup fee of $7,000 to Janae White for a turnkey Airbnb property. Monthly rent and other fees would be deducted from their profits. Both tell me they were promised profits of $1,000 or more each month for each Airbnb unit they invested in.
How many units total did you invest in, and how much money total?
8 units total, $56,000.
And how much money were you hoping to profit off of that investment?
Somewhere around doubling my money.
How many did you secure?
I was able to secure about 3 properties. However, none of the properties were actually existent in my opinion.
Romano and Wilson both say they received monthly profit and loss statements from their short-term investment properties, telling the I-Team they started noticing red flags immediately because the numbers weren't adding up.
It looked like they were copy and pasting all these documents, all these profit and loss statements, because I had 2 profit and loss statements that were just identical as if it was copy and pasted.
After the first month, whenever I got the profit loss statement, I knew something was wrong.
Wilson recently started a Facebook group to connect with other victims.
I need every victim of Janae White schemes to go ahead and email the address that I provided to the state attorney.
In 3 days, the group gained 6,000 members. 50 people now claim they also invested with Jay White and saw little to no profits. Members are also comparing profit and loss statements in the group and realizing they were promised the same Airbnb properties and have identical monthly statements.
I think they took the money and could care less about the information that I was receiving and what type of business that they were doing.
All three investors have filed complaints with the Better Business Bureau and Attorney General's office. Janae White denies the claims against her businesses, sending the I-Team a written statement that reads in part, quote, "The allegations are unfounded and simply not true. In all business ventures, there is a substantial risk of profit and loss with no guarantees." Dempsey says he's in contact with more investors every day with similar stories. He plans to take Raven's case to trial.
And to have somebody sign a contract it looks like they couldn't even carry out in the first place is beyond disingenuous. It's borderline criminal.
All right, people. I just want to be clear here. I'm not calling anyone a scammer yet. We got to go through the notes. But I can say right now, Miss White, it does not look good. It doesn't look good based on everything that we have here. So let's go to the notes. Let's go to the notes and see what we have here. Now, I went through those news reports. I saw some other posting online, and I saw some red flags. And I want to see if you guys caught them as well. So let's take a look at this together. So, question that I immediately asked, and this is something that you have to do. Once again, this is coming from a financial advisor, not just some guy online. This is what I'm saying to you from the capacity of a person who actually went to school and studied how to give people advice. Then went beyond that, got licensed to give people advice. Here's the question that you must ask anytime you're about to hand over your money to someone else. What's her background in investing in real estate? Right? Does she have a lot of experience taking custody of people's money and then putting that money to work for them, growing that money, and then, according to the agreement, paying people back the money that she said that she would? Does she have a lot of experience doing that? Survey says no. No. Now, this actually comes from her LinkedIn page. And if you follow her LinkedIn page, you will see that she has a very unique title. Very unique title. I've never heard of this title before. Maybe someone in the chat, maybe you can enlighten me. Maybe I missed something. But in my multiple years of being in the finance industry, I've never heard of this title before. She is, let's get this right, she is an economic self-sustainability expert. All right, hold on, let's make sure. Let's make sure. Maybe I'm missing something here. But yes, she is an economic self-sustainability. What? Self-sufficient and credit. See, I'm not trying to be petty. But I'm just saying, when people come up with these titles and these terms that you've never heard of before, it's a red flag. I've never heard of this particular position in the world of finance. I've never heard of it, but maybe I'm wrong. Now, she is a graduate of the University of Phoenix. Shout out to the University of Phoenix. Very, very famous online university. The issue with that is she apparently is a recent graduate from the University of Phoenix. Looks like she graduated in 2023. That would be this year. So her experience beyond having the bachelor's degree isn't much because she just got it. But shouts out to the University of Phoenix. It also appears that she is a licensed notary. It is a noble profession. As a financial advisor, I use the services of a notary often, probably at least once a month. use the services of a notary very often. My problem here is I would not hand over my life savings to a notary. I would allow a notary and use the services of a notary to properly sign and my documents and prove that I am who I say I am, and look at my my IDs and whatnot. But to hand over my life savings to a notary, hoping that they can flip my money, red flag. All right. I just want to show you guys some of the other things that she does at the same time here. I want you to pay attention. She is the CEO of all of these different companies at the same time. Let's be clear. CEO at the same time. She is the CEO of the Financial Literacy and Credit Repair Education Company. All right. She's also the CEO of the Business Services Agency. All right. She is also the CEO of a digital marketing agency. Okay, let's keep it going. She's also the CEO of a used car service for single moms. So she's a CEO of a car lot that specializes in selling cars to single mothers. All right, and she is also the head of her own non-profit organization. Now, some of you may say, well, JT, why are you alarmed that this woman is multitasking? I mean, just because you can't do it. And I tell you right now, I cannot be the CEO of all these different organizations. I can't do it. I can't do it. My hat's off to you, young lady. You are amazing. But here's my issue about handing over your life savings to a person who has this many titles. To quote Eli from What Happens to Commissary, shout out to Eli, his birthday was the other day. To quote Eli, there's only 24 hours in a day, right? There's only 24 hours a day. You're going to sleep about 8 to 12 of those hours. Where is she going to find the time to be the CEO of all of these different companies and organizations and flip your money? Right? Let's just think about this for a second. She's the CEO of all these different companies. She also has time to take your money and flip your money. Red flag. Red flag. All right, we're almost done here. My next note here: high returns. High returns. Now, I know many of you, you're aspirational. You're in the situation where you want to see your money grow, right? You've got a hot $15,000 in your pocket, and you want to see that $15,000 turn into $150,000. I know, I got it. You want to break the generational curse of poverty in your family. I got you. Here's the problem. Very high returns are unusual, okay? High returns are unusual. Where there are high returns, there's extremely high risk. Whenever someone is offering me or any one of my clients some investment opportunity where the returns are extremely higher than what the S&P 500 is getting, or whatever, any index fund, right? Whenever I see that, it's a red flag. Let me explain why. If you paid attention to that news report, you'll see that these two gentlemen, they got into an investment with Miss Jay White, allegedly. They got the documents, but allegedly. And those documents showed, and based on the news report, that if they were to invest $7,000, they would get one Airbnb unit. Now, they bought multiple. They bought more than one, but let's keep the math simple. Let's keep the math simple. If you would buy into one Airbnb unit with Miss White, it cost you $7,000. Your income was roughly $1,000 a month. So in a year, that would be a $12,000 return. Now, I know a lot of you street hustlers and, corner boys, to you, that's not a big deal. But in the real world of business, a 60% return on your money is great. All right, let's slow down a little bit. You put in 7, you get back 12 every year. That is an amazing return. Amazing return. But it's unrealistic. And here's why. In the real world of business, you have to always ask the question, why me? Why me? Why is someone giving you such a great return? Now, I know you believe you're special. And those 2 gentlemen who did that deal, I'm sure they thought they were getting a great deal. But here's the problem. If Janae White is 10% of the businesswoman that she appears to be online, that she projects herself to be online, why would she get $7,000 from you and give you a 60% return? The bank, even if the bank was charging her extremely high interest, let's say the bank charges her 20% interest, even though the bank's not going to charge her 20%. Let's say the bank charges her 20% interest. That would still be much less than giving you 60% on your money. If she's 10% of the businesswoman that she appears to be online, that would be hustling backwards. Why would she take money from you in drips, right? We're talking about drips. $7,000 from this fella, $7,000 from this girl, $7,000 from that guy. Why would she get it in drips when she could get $500,000 at 20% and just keep the ball rolling? It doesn't make sense. Red flag. Red flag. I think I got one more. And I'm gonna bring up Orlando. So these type of returns, unrealistic. It's not gonna happen. But there was one more thing that stood out to me. The business plan. All right? Now, if you ignore point number 1, no history, no experience, ignore that. Ignore number 2, high return, right? Let's just ignore those 2 for a second and zero in on the actual business plan. Was the business plan viable? Maybe she couldn't get 60% returns, but hell, 15% return, 12% returns. In the world of investing, that's pretty damn good. Someone get you 15, 20%, that's good. 60 is crazy, but 15 is great. Let's take a look at the business plan, because something popped up to me, and it was somewhat alarming. During the news report, they showed this profit and loss statement. Now, allegedly, Ms. White, she would send her investors profit and loss statements showing them how their units were doing. Surprisingly, her units, they were always not making money, right? To the point where the investors actually had to pay her to break even, right? They would pay her to break even. And when I saw this particular profit and loss statement from February 2023, it got me thinking, right? Got this big old nerd brain thinking. And I said to myself, I don't think she thought out her business plan. Now, I know it's really hard to read, so I highlighted it for you. Let's go to the next one. Let's take a look at this profit and loss statement together. All right, we're going to go slow on this one, right? We're going to go slow. Let's take a look at this. Now, this is the profit and loss statement that she sent to at least one of her investors. I think multiple people got the same profit and loss statements, but let's just say one. She sent this to one person. Now, let's pay attention to this. Profit and loss statement, February 2023. Now, according to her statement, this particular unit had 100% occupancy. I think multiple people. Right? That means every day of the month, somebody was renting this property. Every day, without fail, someone was renting, right? Nights booked, 28. There's only 28 days in February. So every day, someone was renting this unit.